Hello everyone. Recently I made a video where I talked about the 4K Westworld release by Arrow Video. This is 4K, and I made a blunder if you watch that video. I was under the impression that the 4K that just came out also had Blu-ray with it, a combo pack. So I bought this. It was kind of pricey, between the shipping and also the tax. I think it was like 40 something dollars. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, so I didn't mind getting it and paying that price in general, because since I was 11 years old and saw this in the theater, a double bill with Soylent Green, an MGM double bill, I fell in love with this movie. And yeah, but anyway, as we know, if you watch my channel, I do not have a 4K player. Don't really want to get a 4K player. I've heard a lot of things about 4K discs. I've heard that 4K discs tend to freeze. I heard they tend to skip. I've even heard that there's not a marked difference a lot of times between the Blu-ray and the 4K, and sometimes it even looks worse. So I really don't have any desire to upgrade, if you will, to 4K. I didn't realize when I ordered this that it did not contain a Blu-ray. It only had the 4K disc by itself. Then I learned there was a separate Blu-ray, and there it is. So here you go. I got 2 copies of Westworld, and let's stick with the Blu-ray now. The Blu-ray is the one that I'll stick with. I wish I had known originally that Arrow offered both, because I didn't know that they offered both. Okay, this is quite a package, quite a package. Now, the other video that I did, I already showed the contents, but I'll go through them one more time. Slip cover here. Don't really need the slipcase, as I say, but I do like that on the back you've got a really amazing picture that I love of Yul Brynner. Is so good in this movie as the deadly gunslinger. He's stalking just like Michael Myers, the Shape from Halloween. Now, there was no Halloween when this came out. There was no Michael Myers, and there was no Arnold Schwarzenegger, the robotic Terminator. Okay, there was none of that. No cyborg Schwarzenegger. Okay, and this was also Michael Crichton before he did Jurassic Park, the theme amusement world. So this was really an innovator, very different at the time. But anyway, after you take the slipcover off, here's the Blu-ray. You got the clear packaging there, and it seems to me that this image they're going for was to try to emulate the popular HBO series of Westworld, which I only saw the first episode of it, and I actually hated it. The first episode didn't make any sense, very convoluted, couldn't follow the story, and even people who've seen the whole series tell me that it's kind of a puzzle to figure it out. I'm not into this to figure out puzzles, okay? So that's not why I love the movie. When you open it up, you got the disc here. I like the way the disc is designed. You see the 3 worlds of the company Delos. You got Westworld, Roman world, and medieval world. And also on the side, we have some cards that are included. All of them, when you look at the back of the cards, they all have the same artwork on them. But the photos are all different on the cards. Also, I like that you have the option to switch the art, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to reverse this to this, because this is how I like it. And of course, the classic lettering, the logo of Westworld. Also, it has a booklet in it. Nice booklet, talking about the film, and there's some bells and whistles here that I'm going to go through. And I actually enjoyed watching the film yesterday, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So there's the booklet. Also, we have a poster. And this is one of the reasons why I'm happy in a way that I've got now, in the aftermath, I'm making the best of a mistake, that I've got 2 copies of this, because there's a poster in here that's folded up, and there's the art repeated again, the cover art. But this is the original poster as it was in the movie theaters. And I really love that. Really, really love it. Great artwork. I have this in my collection as the original one sheet, which I have framed. I have it framed in a frame, and it's in the closet because I don't have the space here, but I do have it framed up, and that's the poster I remember as a kid. Now, let me talk about the quality of the Blu-ray here, because the Blu-ray I was able to watch. I was not able to watch the 4K because I don't have a player. Probably the best I've ever seen this movie look, and that's an understatement. But I've had every variation. I had this on VHS, pan and scan. I had it. I didn't collect Laserdisc, but I mean I had different DVDs. The MGM Warner Brothers, I think, Snapcase version of DVD with the snapper there. And I have to tell you. I have to tell you that I much prefer this as the cover. This is a much better cover to me than this, but that's my opinion. Let's see. Anyway, I'm noticing I saved this. I also had another one here. This was another DVD that came out. I don't have it anymore. I just have this. There's another design. And finally, I have the first Blu-ray here. So I really love this movie, and I've had it every which way you could possibly think of for this. But let me also show you one more thing here. This was a really unusual item from Passport Video, public domain stuff here, where we got the making of Westworld. And this basically had a really nice feature, the making of Westworld, an MGM featurette, which now makes this kind of null and void, because even though I picked this up for that reason, to have that mainly, it's now of course included all over the place. You know, I think you can get it on I don't know if it was on here, I can't remember now, but I know it's definitely on the new one. So some of the features that are on this that really makes it worthwhile, in addition to the really good picture quality of it, you have all kinds of different sound here. You have a 1.0 mono audio, you have 2.0 stereo, you have 5.1 surround audio, and there are features here that I really wanted this for. The main reason I did it, more than just for the upgrade in visual quality, what I really wanted was At Home on the Range, a brand new video interview with actor James Brolin. That's a little disappointing because Jim Brolin really doesn't talk that much about Westworld. It's about 17 minutes long, but he doesn't really say all that much about Westworld and his experience, except that he was able to bring his own horse to the set to use, and some other things like that. Then there's another one here. Richard Benjamin has a 11-minute or so interview here called Cowboy Dreams. That's much better. But I'm going to tell you, I was kind of disappointed because even though it was fun to see Richard Benjamin recounting his memories of this movie, and you don't get to see Brolin and Benjamin talking about this movie very often, so it was such a treat for a diehard fan like me to see them reflecting on it. The only thing is, there was a story that I did hear him tell once. Richard Benjamin told a story about how Yul Brynner had taught him how to shoot, a gun, but in this case, not bullets, of course, blanks. They were shooting blanks for the movie, and how to do so without blinking and squinting, because whenever someone fires one of these things, the instinctive reaction is like you blink. And he tells that story here again on the new disc, thankfully, but he left out, or they left out, the anecdote that I had seen before, where Richard Benjamin says that he accidentally shot Yul Brynner in the eye by mistake with what's called a wadding. It's either wading or wadding from a blank cartridge. It's not a bullet. It's whatever they use, whether it's foam or whether it's something plastic. It sometimes shoots out when you shoot a blank, and it kind of scratched Yule's cornea. And that story is recounted in a book, a little paperback from 73 or 74. I think 74, on the making of Westworld, which is a really good little paperback if you can find it. So we knew that happened. Richard Benjamin had admitted in some other interview that I found online, a very small interview, where he mentioned that. For some reason, it's not included here for posterity. I wish it was, the accident on set. But aside from that, of course, you get like a photo gallery. I think there were 183 photos, all of them black and white, from the movie. Some stills, a couple of behind the scenes shots here and there. One thing that I really did enjoy here was a brand new video interview with the producer, Paul N. Lazarus III, who's now 87 years old and still sharp as a tack. And he tells a lot of good, interesting stories about Westworld and how Yul Brynner, for example, was so desperate for work at the time and needed anything that, even though this was a low-budgeted film, Yul wanted the job very badly, and the producer said, "I can only pay you $75,000, which is equivalent to $403,000 in today's money." And Yul Brynner said, "I'll take it." He had to take it. Glad he did, because he really was an iconic force in this movie. So that was a really good interview. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the commentary. There is a commentary track on here that I found very disappointing, and I was hoping it was going to be good, because we never really got a good commentary. It's too bad that Michael Crichton never got to do a commentary, and I really wish somehow Richard Benjamin and James Brolin, or both, or at least Richard Benjamin, could have been providing one. But the audio commentary is by filmmaker and film historian Daniel Kremer, and I have to say, it was underwhelming. You know, it starts out okay, and then it goes into all kinds of tangents that we don't really stay with the movie and what history about the movie itself, what we're watching. Real shame. But it's a mixed bag. But as of this time in history, this is the definitive, I guess, Westworld representation. I will say in closing now, I know for a fact, for all you Westworld fans out there were TV sequences that were used when it was first shown in February 28th, I think the date was, of 1976. I was 14 years old, and I vividly remember it because I had an audio cassette recorder, and I used my audio mic to tape it off the TV. I no longer have that audio cassette, but I definitely remember there was an added scene in there of when the robots go berserk, a guest in medieval world actually being tortured on a rack, and they're stretching him. And I remember I could still hear the audio. I could hear him say, "Hey, come on, I paid in advance. I mean, come on, guys," or something like that, freaking out. And then gradually it descends into pain. And it's a scene that has not been restored. It has not ever been shown again. A few people remember it. I'm one of the few who remembers it. And also there was another scene that I recall of after Yul Brynner gets the acid in the face. They actually show you a scene of him kind of going over to the sink and kind of like getting water to kind of like douse the acid from his face. And he actually turns around, you know, to go and pursue Benjamin. That little bit of business was cut out of the final print. But anyway, that's what I recall. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. So we'll talk again about Westworld a lot on my channel in the future.